Alright, I believe I found the place that we were at. Don't know if we're parked exactly where we were, but east-west wise and pretty much north-south, we are exactly the same spot. So, still got a long ways to go, so let's get in and get going. Get the GPS up and running so that we can figure out what direction we're actually pointed in. I'm not sure if it has a set direction it points you in when you load into a random spot. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it always points you in a certain direction. But, yeah. 2 more flights left, unless I get really crazy and do a 4-hour flight. Don't think that's happening. Actually, I think we're 5 hours out still. So, come on, GPS. I need to know where I'm headed. Alright, we are facing sort of south. Make sure it's all set up. Okay. Looks like we're good. Let's roll off the parking brake. This direction looks sort of flatter. 2 clicks down. And got really tippy there. Oh crap, you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to set the fuel. It's alright. We'll just cheat that and do that now. Surprised that doesn't completely break everything. Oop, don't want full flaps. That almost ripped off the wings. Alright. Away we go. Looks like we're headed how we've been headed this whole time. I did not set up my trim for the what is it, ailerons? I gotta get this thing trimmed for elevators. It is really being a pain. Come on. Need to figure out a better trim scroll. Still dipping down. Okay, wind wise, we've got a crosswind. We're gonna head on this 21 degrees, and we should start picking up bit of bit more of the sand dunes again. So, right. Not 3. This thing is not the greatest. Trying to do it with the mouse. All right. We're rolling quickly. So, goal is to attempt to get to I don't know. Actually got some buildings down here, but I mean, we want to get to the eye and then past it. What that's going to take, though, time-wise, I have no idea. But we are getting some population around this area with that road, and you can see that there is some travel happening across the landscape. And it's just, I think it's the same day. Actually, it might actually be the next day at noon. I was thinking about flying at sunset, but then realized that we'd be staring into the sun the whole time. And that wouldn't be fun. So currently we're at 980, kind of jet skiing up and down, porpoising. We're talking F1. The textures are a little poor. But we had just moved into a new aerial image area right before we landed. But yeah, we should be all in the same area that we were, unless I completely screwed up. But it looks exactly like what we were in. If anything, I skipped ahead a mile, if that, but yeah, we'll just keep heading on this track, and I don't know. Oh, that was a big load in. I'm thinking the eye is right here. I have to look at, yeah, because there's like a little bit of a range right along it, and the eye is like right there probably. So you can see we got a long ways to go still. We will get this one all done, and then in a couple of months figure out what we're gonna do next. Actually, no, alright. Yeah, that's the eye there. So we're headed in the correct direction. Ground speed, 161. Not quite going as quick as we were yesterday, but we had a bit of tailwind and all of that. We're definitely skirting down close to the ground. Trim that up just a little bit, otherwise we're going to touch down. Back up just a little bit. Cat just flew past out of the hallway. So you got a couple of paths heading that direction. Back to like maybe some rocks sticking out of this. We got a tiny bit of dune. And then everything is kind of headed this way. So let's just head this way. It's going to take us a little further south. Then we should be able to catch the dunes that are heading directly towards the eye. I think I want to do this in the US, like follow rivers. But we'll head almost straight south for a bit here. That does give us a little bit of tailwind, picks us up to 165, and actually give us a little more power. This fuel usage is not a concern. Yeah, I think this path is just fine this way. Watched a little bit of Chili Bowl today, just the free stuff. Watched the NFL game until I got sick of it. I assume Kansas City won. It was looking like it was headed that way. Trim now with the more power, up to 173 knots. But yeah, it is starting to get freaking cold out. But that's fine, as long as it warms up over the week. I'm perfectly fine with it deciding to be crappy on the weekends when I have no reason to go outside. Yeah, this looks like AI fill-in. Some of the green patching. We've lost our landscape that was pointing us this direction. It's actually turning a little bit further south. We do have this crossing. Is this a road? This is looking a bit like a road. And then it... Oh yeah, we got a lot of pathing down here. Okay. Let's follow along until it randomly turns north or ends. That's going... Although it kind of looks like there's something over there. We got dunes up ahead. You can see them now. Still just not... We just got to go... 210, in between 210 and 240. It's just the perfect direction for us. Sadly, though, that's exactly a crosswind. I mean, that's better than a headwind, but we'll just stick with this path. Yeah, that's fill-in. The AI has decided that something is wrong there and it needed to be corrected. So then it put in a patch of something that doesn't match at all. Like a very generic desert grassland. Not sure why they can't just kind of do a Photoshop autofill for places that it thinks is wrong. So that it matches everything right around it. Especially on the smaller stuff. But we're getting quite a bit of it, so not sure why that is. You can tell with the sharp edges of it, it's just a little settlement there. Built up mounds. At least we're past that patch, and now it looks like we're good. Although I thought we had some dunes coming up, but maybe it was just the prop messing with me. It's got a little bit of flickers for the vegetation. It kind of looked like the shadows that were on the dunes. Horizon, flat as can be. Alright, we got another little change coming up. If I go based off of where we started and go center of the eye, that is showing 225 miles, which really giving me a all right, hour and 22 minutes to the eye. That means after the eye we probably go half an hour, get a little bit closer to Senegal. So it's not, we're not too bad. We're not in a situation where it's going to be 5 hours just to get to the eye. We have another road coming through here. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder now, since there is a road going through this, if this is just poor vegetation generation. Because it wouldn't have put a path through there, I don't think, with AI. Now, we got a whole lot of no vegetation, some rocks, and again, maybe some dunes on the horizon, but I'm seeing like tiny little dips on the horizon, so either my eyes are playing with me or we're gonna get a little bit of elevation change. And then we should get quite a bit of elevation change once we get near the eye. Like rocks. Then we got something there. So this country has like 4 million people in it, and I'm guessing most of the 4 million that they know of are along the coast. I don't even know how people would survive out here. But you can still see that, you know, there's some drainage. Something has flown at some point. Not like a river, but there has been water. At least carving away a little bit. Bit, so it should see it on the map now. But the scale of the map, we are at 30 miles for that, so probably 150, 180 out still. Oops. And that is not counting all my floating left and right too far. Wow, everything, like, everything has disappeared. It's just emptiness here. Alright, so we have burnt halfway through our right tank already. We're going to let that burn all the way down, then do left tank. And we should be getting to the eye right around that point. So probably before the left tank can burn down. Now, like I said, I don't think we're going to actually see the eye as low as we are. We'll be over it. We'll see the elevation around it. But it may just look like this with mountains around it being this close. Yeah, and the elevation that I thought I saw, I think that was just a mirage. Just light blue and light orange blending together on the horizon. Do have a slight change in imagery or something. We got, are these some paths below us? Looks like it's a path. Terrain has fallen away from us as well because we're at 920 feet. And well above the ground. Yeah, it looks like we got another little bit of a drainage with a road through it. Rocks there. This route though, heading up this direction. Some very deep cuts it looks like into it. but it could just be the time of day that the image was taken. And then, are they all just going right to this spot? Nope, they can continue on that way. But we don't want to go that way. Now we got a little bit of dune. Just tiny little piles. May not even be sand, it might just be rock. Is this a town? I think we got a town over here. We've got roads, possibly some buildings. Yep. We've got a town. Little oasis out here. Quite a few little settlements. Look at that. All right. I'm surprised that route of tracks didn't come more towards that, but there's probably a reason why. Out in the middle of nowhere. That's a whole different life. Trying to decide if these darker spots are depressions in the ground or uplifts in the ground. And because they're uplifted, they've had the top layer blown off, exposing the darker layer. Half an hour into this flight now. Looking at that map over and over, feels like we're making zero progress. Need to zoom in so that things are going by quicker. There we go. Now it's just green. Yeah, I know this isn't the route that they have taken, especially like it has changed so much over the years with just the Paris to actual Dakar, but now they're in completely different countries for like the last 10-15 years, I think. But I cannot imagine driving across this. I know Grand Tour did it. I think they were a little further south too. I think they did Algeria over possibly. But yeah, absolutely crazy. Because it's not like you're going 80 in this terrain. I mean, you can, I guess. People that do it on dirt bikes as well, no thank you. I mean, I guess dirt bikes slash bikes. The early days were more like road bikes, it seemed. But this is painful enough at twice the speed, 3 times the speed, in the comfort of my own home. But to be able to say that you did it, I guess, is cool. An achievement in life. It's draining off over here. Looks like it. Then we got a big old white patch up ahead. Well, this did nothing for me. Oops. Are starting to get a little bit more elevation change. The darker green, I believe, is lower, even though ahead of us looks higher up. At least in my mind, it feels like it's higher, but you can see these dipping down into this, and then this is just a dried up lake, I assume. Something that gets a little bit more water. I've gotten completely turned going directly towards that, but maybe a few actual houses here on the edge of this. And it looks like we're getting back to dunes now with the way that it's streaking on the map. I assume these are all dunes and they're gonna just guide me in the direction that we need to go. All the way to the eye. Almost have the right tank, wing tank empty. Some clouds have popped up in the sky. Well, very, very high altitude clouds. Yeah, there we go. I think we got dunes off to our left. a very light dusting of sand piling up in between. Looks like we're about to go over some dunes. Let's head back down to the ground real quick and see how high these look, and not very. .172 though for our ground speed. All those clouds just vanished. Or we turned a little bit. I don't know. I think maybe we turned a little bit. Yeah, there's quite a bit of clouding happening that way. I mean, for what we've seen over the last few episodes. Thought we were going to get to some dunes over to our left, but didn't really happen. I mean, there's still the little pilings. We got some to the right. Yeah, I thought it was happening much sooner. Starting to look like dune desert. But what do we have going on over here? Is this a little town on the outskirts of it all? Just that white sand. Yeah, it's just piled up. Maybe some rocks sticking out. Well, here we go. Just follow along. Is pretty much like this all the way to here, and it is this way all the way above and below it as well. But then we get some like high plateaus around the eye, Yeah, these lines on the northern side of it sort of direct us to it. We kind of got to go slightly diagonal to them. Not as high of dunes as I thought we were going to get. But yeah, if you were trying to head north, well, I guess northwest and southeast, it'd be a bit of a pain driving up and over each of these. Probably about 45 minutes out. And we are about ready to switch that fuel tank. Come down a little lower to the ground. Oh. I think it actually dips down more than anything here, making this look taller. Right tank is empty. Yeah, you can see just never ending. Well, I mean, it does obviously, but all that there is around us, and we're only slightly into this, because it's almost like this whole patch of this level here is exactly like this. How far are we out from this bit? Maybe 30 miles. And who knows if we're even gonna really see a change other than the elevation. I don't know how much the terrain plays a role in where the sand goes. I mean, I'm guessing it does a bit with the way it changes wind. But yeah, not really seeing anything on the horizon, but as low as we are, we're chopping off a lot of our visibility. We've still got a high cloud layer off to the south. Wind is at 10 knots now. Ground speed 172. Yeah, once we get to the eye, a little bit more civilization starts happening within the rocks or mountains or whatever it is that is surrounding this. Not quite sure. We'll find out. Yeah, I'm very surprised that these aren't taller. I thought they would be. But there is a lot of them. This repetitive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think I can see. And looking at the map, there's, like, from where we're at, before we get to here, south of us, there's probably 200, 300. Nah, maybe 200. But absolutely ridiculous amount. Alright, so is this gonna dip in? Is it gonna climb up? Like, we got this patch off to the right that looks like it dips down. What is our distance on this? 5 or 8? Can't really. 8. I could barely see it on my screen, so I'm guessing anyone watching was not able to read that. But oh, got a little bumpiness there. Alright, left tank about 1/8 of the way gone, so yeah, I assume, because we're still a long ways out from the eye at this point, yeah, we'll probably need fuel once we get there. Yeah, looking to the left, I'm not really understanding this. I think it's just elevation is climbing for now. See if we've got any cities. Actually, I think elevation's dropping away here. Or at least the dunes are giving way. And then there is that drop into this bit. The dunes give away. And then it drops into the eye. So why would the dunes go away? What would cause that? Because they're north and south of them. It's just like right around the eye, they vanish. Nearly to something different, though. So after the eye, we follow the road out of it. That's going to take us kind of along a cliff face, down to a valley and out into some open area, and that may be where we end. we got a ways till we get to that point. Like, this is definitely not the most direct route, but if I'm going to do this flight and I'm going to be in this area, I may as well go to the eye over here. Alright, so we got some cliffs here, which I believe is this ridge, possibly. Got some poor image under us right now, and then it turns into the decent sand. So you can kind of tell that everything that we've seen of this probably looks more like this ahead. Not much difference, but seeing more of the wind pattern. Aggressive small waves. All right, over to the cliff. Yeah, so we're going to dip down into a valley. The dunes are going to stop to our left, and I'll start going around the north side of this cliff. I'm guessing, based on absolutely no knowledge, but just a good guess, winds dropping down off the cliff help push the sand away so that there's a gap around it. Just pulling ideas out of my butt. Wind has picked up, but we're also a little bit higher off the ground. I'm guessing if I drop back down, it will get back under 10. But here we are to something different than what we've seen. I mean, we've seen this before at the later end of the Moroccan video, but it's different than what we've seen here. We're just going to assume that tree is really there. Against all odds, it is growing. Little path down here. Couple of them. Getting a really good tailwind now as we turn in more to 178 knots ground speed. We'll head off this way. Looks like we got a bit of a, yeah, since this is all lower, it's any moisture ends up here. Can see, getting closer to the eye of the monster. Got the path down there. We're gonna head this direction because it looks like there's slightly higher elevation, and it's right where the eye is. Dunes still off to our right, and a whole bunch of colors that probably don't belong here. And then a random bit of hill out in the middle of all this, with some sand piled up on this side of it. But we got little steps up here as well. And the wind is really strong down in here. Feel it moving around, and it's at 13 knots. See these eroding away. It's got kind of like a crust halfway down it that slowly breaks away, rolls down. And now it's time to climb up and see what's up above. Flatland. looks like a lot of this drains off to this. I'm not sure how far it goes though. A little bit of possibly pooling right here. If it ever gets big enough storm, but I don't know how often they happen or how long ago. It may not happen anymore. But yeah, you got cliff off that way out into the dunes, and this doesn't look like a very harsh place compared to where we've been. It's getting better. Let's go up just a little bit here. But yeah, just it's actually, the elevation goes up this way, so, or at least that's what it seems like on the map, unless I'm getting that completely wrong. Yeah, this is draining away from the edge. It probably finds a lower spot back that way, but this is going to continue to get a little bit higher up as we go. We're at 1,700, whereas back in the dunes we were down around 800 at ground level. Let's see what we get near the ground here. Looking at 1,500, so it has jumped up about 700 feet. Wind is stronger up here as well from our right. Turned way too much. Don't know how I did that. Pick up some of this wind, get a tailwind, and get to that eye for our fuel stop. So 178 knots. Looks like that's what we're going to top out on ground speed here. Because we do have to go this direction. Back to not a lot to look at, but I think it's going to get much more interesting after the eye. See a bit of the cliff over there. To our left, no dunes for a bit. Now, hour and 17 in, so this is all timing up to about that hour and a half that it said it would take to get here. Probably 30 miles out. Road. Interestingly, it looks like there's an even bigger circle under all of this, but it's probably just an illusion, or whatever you would call it. Can't really see those high-level clouds anymore. You can just barely make them out. They're so light. I couldn't even tell, like on the radar that I have on the map. Had to flick the clouds on and off to be able to see the little bit of haze that's up there. So we are about 3/4 of the way through our left tank. We're getting closer to the eye, and we can kind of see the opening, the other side of it. I'm not sure we're going to see much eye, but we're gonna definitely see where it dips down in a second. .181 knots now. Got a 13 knot tailwind. That is perfect. That's may just be high enough to kind of pick out the circular, but I'm not expecting much. Just because this thing is massive. Bit of sand up here. And there we go. The eye. Try to point towards the center of it. But it is so damn massive that even from probably about 800, dip down there. 800 to 900 feet off the ground, you'd have no idea. Like, people knew nothing about this until we got up into the air and space. Because from the cliffs, you can't even see it. So we got a little bit of random water down here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is actually one of those inner layers of the eye. That probably doesn't help you being able to see the whole circular pattern. Then it looks like there's like some sand around bits of it as well. And then it keeps putting streaks of water through there. I really wish they would just get rid of that. We're getting shoved back up now. We're at 1780. We'll head to the center point of it, or at least attempt to. Which looks like it's a mound. But yeah, knowing it at this level, you can kind of see the circular pattern as you get closer, but get lower here, it's even hard to pick out a circular pattern unless you walked around one time and figured it out. Just massive, way bigger than I thought it was. But here's the center point. yeah, I don't know why they have these small creeks running through it. There's a couple of buildings. Something right in the center. Someone owns the eye. And then don't mind this random circular dried up lake here. Actually, that's a perfect place for us to fuel up. Hopefully it's flat. Looks like it, but you never know what you're gonna get with this game. Turn around into the wind. Go. A little rough. Parking brake on. Let's control shifty. Hop out real quick. There you have it. In the eye. So, alright, let me run off and grab a drink. We'll fuel up and get going again. Alright, back. Let's take a look at these tracks. Probably a little deep. Still cool though that they're able to do that. Alright, fuel it up. And did it load it in? Yeah, it did. Alright, so start it back up. Don't have to wait on GPS this time. Let's switch it to right tank because it gets funky on startup. Kicking up a whole bunch of sand here. Get this takeoff position. This set to full throttle RPM. back to it. Nice and easy off. Okay. RPM's back just a little bit. Throttle up as far as we dare. Get headed back in the direction with our tailwind for hopefully a long while. Let's get out of this eye. The question is, where am I actually headed now? We do have a road that we should be able to pick up right around here. So let's head that way. There's actually a town right about here. So I think we'll head that way and maybe kind of, we'll not follow the road out of here because it goes north, but we'll reconnect with it. We can kind of follow that out of this complex. Well, not out of this, but out of the whole elevated area here. Because it kind of goes up and then back around, so we'll just kind of catch it there. And then I kind of want to get to there, is what I'm thinking. I think that would be very good progress on this. Head back down, close to the ground. $190 with a 13 knot tailwind on a dive. And another ugly, disgusting ribbon of water for absolutely no reason. A little bit of sand stuck down in here. Kind of piled up on the edge over here. Let's see if we can find whatever this settlement might be. And it might just be that patch over there. But I think it's actually up. Over these little cuts in the cliff. Mess up some air on the plane. Is this our town, or is it just trees? I think I see buildings. I even see an antenna. Holy crap. We are back to civilization. Speaking of which, all the early preview gameplay videos just got released yesterday or 2 days ago. Holy crap. That game is going to be amazing. Look at this town. This is a big town. It's bigger than most of the towns in Nebraska. Here's our road. Do we have 2 antennas over here? We do. Whoops. That is not where I wanted to stick my head. Alright. Well, we will continue on. Got a little path out here, it looks like, that has been blown over. So we should catch that dirt road again. Well, maybe not. There is another town down the road that's actually maybe even larger than this one. It kind of spurs off of that road that we saw. We'll see if we catch that. It looks to be kind of along this ridge that we're following. But it's quite a ways away. So then we got a major town that actually might be the town that I was talking about. And then a major town right there. So let's take a look at nearest. 44 miles from Chinguetti. Getting closer. Okay. We'll just keep that on. Can I click on it? No. Click on this, I can only enter, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the town, or one of the towns, and it has an airport. That doesn't actually show up on this map, so maybe it's not that town. I don't know. I don't think we're actually going to fly to it. I think we're going to be a little further south. But, back to the yellow, orange, light sand. I don't know if this ever ends. Maybe it's this way all the way to the coast. It could be. It actually possibly looks like it could dune all the way to the coast at this point, and as well south of us. God, maybe we just go to the coast. for something different. Yeah, it's looking like dunes all the way. You've still got your terrain, but you've got dunes over top of all of it. That's crazy. Alright, so if we're going to go to the coast, follow this track and get to that's another hour and a half to the coast. I don't have that in me, not today. And that's from this point. So yeah, I think coast is out. Now we do have, we do have the tailwind. I mean, it's just going to be this the whole way. There is a road up here, but we got to go so far out of the way. See, you can see this terrain underneath the sand that's just getting covered over. Let's follow this. I want to follow this slab of earth that's a little higher, that has fought off the sand a bit. Although it almost goes too far back that way. Alright, that's not going to happen. Let's just head south. Further south we go, the better. It's just crazy. It is absolutely ridiculous how much sand is out here. I did not think, I thought past the eye the sand would end. It's not the big dunes that we saw, but never-ending sand. Alright, so we're heading almost that 21 degree. And all of a sudden the plane just shot up. Wind is now blowing from the east. I mean, at least the imagery here is really, really good. Like, this looks pretty damn awesome, so that's a positive. It's just I'm tired of looking at it. been looking at this color for like 7 hours now. I was so excited to see sand dunes when we got that small patch in Morocco. I am so over it now. There is a lake that's just a little too far out of the way though, down there. Then we just go south and see how far I can make it before I give up and land. Ground speed's 182, so we're making good progress. If we were going west, we'd be making better progress, but sadly, we don't need to go west. West Coast is just too far out of the way, and we'd have to backtrack a little bit too. Going to the eye kind of took us off course as well, but it was worth it to not see and see all at the same time. Plus it got us into this way better imagery. And we got to see a town. And a fairly large town compared to what... I mean, that's the largest town we've seen since probably the Mediterranean coast. Just try to grab a little more of this tailwind. We really want to see how far off we are. That's where we're headed. I didn't want waypoint info, I wanted to go there. But let's do this. Do this. I hit Q. There we go. We are 2.5 hours away. Let's go back. Damn it. How do I go back now? Back. Hit the back button. Usually the best option. Alright, well, let's just fly this path. I don't think it goes out over water, does it? Yeah, so let's fly the direct way. And see if we can get this map back. Show map. But I don't want to show map on... Jesus. Alright. Let's look at... None of that. Okay. That's annoying. Easy way to fix it. Let's use this middle one. Can't get any of these things to work how I want them to. All right. Son of a bitch, it's still in there. How do I remove? Working. I just want it centered on my plane so that we can see the terrain. But I think I've completely broken that. So we'll just be on this one, and we're just gonna follow our GPS track here to get us the most direct there. I'm going to have a hard time understanding where I'm at as we cross places because I don't have a damn map anymore. Wait, there we go. That'll help me. This is fine. This will do what I need it to do. As we're looking at that, we're headed towards a sand dune. I mean, that is a very ugly map, but it'll have to do for now. Can I just make this bigger? There we go. Now can I... Damn it. Oh, it's the same damn map. Alright, well. Game over, you win. Let's find out about this airport. Soft surface. 5,000 feet. Pretty long airport, actually, for being out here. Just no go. Doesn't seem like I can get that back. So this will have to do. And I think that's just relative terrain. So if we go here, we can see that we are now 455 miles out. That broke that. Did it break that? Anyways, now we got it 438 miles out. So maybe we get to around, I don't know, all these crescent shaped piles of sand here mounding up. Maybe we get to, I mean, we're 2 hours into the video. I feel like I can end it now, but that's going to make the last video 400 miles. I think we can do like 200 and something. Well, we can do 180 an hour, essentially. So we can get probably half hour in. Maybe we get it down to a 2 hour video on our way in. Or at least the terrain's changing up a little bit. Still got some dunes, but now you're getting more of these like sandy hills. You got a hill over there on the horizon. But yeah, lots of Pac-Man down here. All going in the way we're going. So I assume there's some cherries up here. Yeah, it's definitely changed up on what it is here, so that's good. And like I said, the imagery is getting better because we're getting closer to where people are, so the data is there. Now on this path, guessing where we're at. If we haven't, we probably have already crossed it. There was a road. It's kind of down south from... No, we still haven't. It's coming up, though. It's going to be kind of right here-ish. But that's going to be heading back towards the east. Wind has picked up a bit more. We're going 189, so making good time. 423 out. Are a little bit further south than I thought we were, but we're still going to cross that road. Maybe around here. We'll see. And it could just be a simple dirt road. Yeah, we're getting bounced around here. Wind is getting stronger. I just needed to turn slightly more to a tailwind. See the sand piled up on the edges of these cliffs. Yeah, we're closing in on being about 2 hours out, so for how long this flight is, pretty damn close to being done. As we get closer to this basin, that road should appear. like a nice banked oval here. But yeah, I think now we're still quite a ways out from where the road should be. Possibly over this ridge, unless it cuts in a lot here. And then, who knows, we could encounter multiple roads. Because I'm sure there's not just one road in this area. About to go over a cliff. Doesn't help that the terrain, as I get lower, changes on the map. That was throwing me off for a second. Wish I hadn't screwed up that other map. There's the road. And it is actually a paved road, it looks like. That heads back up to that main town that I was talking about. And you can get all the way to that town at the eye that connects with that road. Alright, so we've crossed the road. Get back into dunes. Then about halfway into this, there's another road with quite a few towns on it going through dunes. That actually connects back up with the road that we just crossed over. At this point, just follow the line and go until I want to go no more. Trees are changing up. I don't think there's actually trees here, but we'll just pretend that they're brush. Who knows? There might be. But we will, I assume, be back to dunes, as it looks like that's all that's to the left, and it kind of looks like that's all that's up ahead. We have almost used up all of the right tank again. I feel like the right tank empties quicker. really nice land, though, for what's around. I feel like there should be people around here. Maybe there is, but it could all just be we're getting bad coloring and it's not quite as livable as it looks. Doing 193 ground speed, 22 knots on the wind. It's nearly a tailwind now. But the sand appears to be taken back over. That dark color there is supposed to be sand, so I'm guessing a lot of what we just seen was supposed to be a bit of sand. Looks like we got a bit of a, it's either covered in trees or it's rocky. I think it's trees though. Little hill up ahead. Dip down and turn it red in front of us. Alright, so we're going to run into another situation of trying to find a place on the map. To stop and be able to find again. And it was kind of nice that we found that place with just a ton of tracks crossing in the desert. Pac-Man's coming back. There may be possibly a lake. Tiny, tiny, tiny lake. Right on our path. Right there. If so, that's probably the best place for me to go and land at. There's not going to be a whole lot of those that we got to search around for to be the correct one. We're almost out of the cool little area that we have here. And back. Oh, you know what? That wasn't a lake. That was just a place that was much lower. Duh. This isn't the type of map. I mean, it's not going away. Let me go. Get real low here. Can we make that dot disappear? Okay, it might be a lake. Or a giant hole. But back to the flat, boring sand, and then I am sure the dunes will start. Just really need to find out where I am. You'd think it would be easy looking for an area like this, but since it's relative to my height, I can't really spot much of it. I've got an idea. But yeah, magic black hole up here does not show up unless it's this lake. That doesn't really add up with what I'm seeing on the map, so yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I could, I guess, cheat. I mean, it's not really cheating, but I could put in my coordinates here. Out how to do this. No, doesn't look like I can actually type in. Oh well, we know where we're going. We're 369 miles out. Two hours and 22 minutes into the video. So, yeah, we'll get up to this dot, see what the hell it is. It's probably going to be nothing. It could just be a giant hole in the world. They have them the other direction where there is sometimes giant spikes coming out of the ground. Right tank is empty. Hopefully that hasn't been for too long. How much did we use out of the... Yeah, we used quite a bit out of the leg tank as well. Could have ran ourselves out of fuel and been confused on why the engine was dying for a second. I mean, it looks like a lake. It looks like it's a blue dot now that I zoom in. So if that's a lake, I think that's where we land. Then it'll be 350 miles or so to go, and then we will be done with this adventure. Now the lake might just be a lake bed, most likely, because look around. But if it is something that I feel like I can pick off of satellite image, then I can use it to find where I am at, and we can load in at the same place. It looks like there's water in it. We have found our stopping point. We could have went much further, but this is too good of an opportunity to pass up directly on our path. Nothing else is coming up. We've made it a long ways today. It might just be a white, dried up bed. But I think that's still going to be pretty visible. Let's get ourselves turned this way, then we'll turn back around. I can't tell if it's got water in it or not. Got a road next to it. Probably turn around and land back that way. Yeah, there's water in it. Possibly. I think it's putting water in it. Yep. Alright, well, let's Turn around this magic lake in the middle of a desert that has roads going through it, which kind of tells me that this is probably supposed to be a dried up lake bed. Get turned back into the wind. Full flaps. And somehow we got really high up in the air as well. This wind is so strong, we're just like stalled out up here. Is that over there? Is that a car? Is that someone waiting for us? No, it's a house, it looks like. Well, I know where we're eating tonight then. Oh, we're stalling. Whoops, that got funky. Oh, bounce. Get it turned into the wind a little better. I have no idea what's going on with the vegetation draw. It is all messed up. We're down. Well, it's a slightly different area. It's been a while since we've seen vegetation. I have no idea what's going on with this and why it kept forming up. We do have a house just over there apparently, and a lake that's probably not a lake, but one episode away from finishing this up. Hope you're enjoying it. Thanks for watching.